Well, greetings, business mathematics students. This is week number 8 in our 8-week course, or no, our 16-week course in business math, business 20. And this week we're going to be looking at chapter 12 on annuities and sinking funds. So last week you finished your we looked at compound interest, I'm sorry, and compound interest is probably, for whatever reason, one of the chapters that students struggle with the most. And I don't know if it's just trying to figure out how many times a particular loan or investment compounds over the course or the life of the loan and what interest rate it would be compounded at each time it does. And so it's pretty simple once you get it, but sometimes it takes a little bit to click. And I know also that some of you were probably using the formula to solve your problems, and some of you were probably using the tables. And quite honestly, the tables are much easier. All you're doing when you use the formula is getting the table factor, and the table gives you the table factor already. So either way, you covered compound interest and present value. Now we shift gears into annuities, and annuities are nothing different. All they are is series of payments into an investment. So when we looked at compound interest and simple interest, we were talking about a lump sum of money going into an account and then sitting there and earning interest. Well, now we're looking at putting money in, but periodically. So every 3 months or every month or every year. And every time you put more money in, of course, that adds to your principal. But at the same time, what you already have in there is collecting compound interest. And this is what we call an annuity. It's a series of payments. That's all annuity means. You often might think of an annuity as something that you get like in retirement, that you're investing in an annuity. So that way, when you retire, you're going to be able to draw out a certain amount of money every month for a certain number of years. That's what we call an annuity as well. So it's either putting money in the series of payments or getting money out on a series of payments. And that's what we also call a sinking fund, where I have a certain amount of money in there and I want to be able to draw against that every year, every month. And that's what we call a sinking fund. So either way, it means series of payments. And that's what you're going to be figuring out. And it's very, very similar to compound interest. You're going to be figuring out how many times it's going to compound over the life of the loan, what the interest rate is going to be at each time it compounds. You're going to go to the table, etc. The only difference is it depends on what kind of an annuity it is. If it's an ordinary annuity, nothing changes. You look up the table factor. It's a different table for annuities, table 12.1 and table 12.2. And so you can do a future value of an annuity, you can do a present value of an annuity. And so point being is nothing happens when it's an ordinary annuity. However, there's a thing called an annuity due, which basically means that you actually start putting in money and earning interest at the beginning of your investment. And so it needs you to do something to the table factor and to the number of periods that it compounds. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky. It's only for annuity due, whether that be a present value of an annuity or a future value of an annuity due. It's only when it's an annuity due that you have to mess with the table factor and the number of times that it compounds. So if that doesn't make sense to you, you're probably lost already. But if it does, it's the same thing as chapter 11, but you're using a different table and you're doing something to the number of times it compounds and to the table factor. So you can review the formula sheet where I go through how to do that very clearly. I also have a video on this as well to explain how to do it. So I'll show you all that right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our class in Canvas so we can cover this last week's assignments. And by the way, as I mentioned, this is our, no, it's not our last week. I have another class that's ending today. That's Business 20, but not this one. This one we have 8 more weeks. So sorry about that. I keep forgetting. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here. We're in module number 2. We are ending module number 2 this week, which does mean that you have your midterm exam, which is based on everything up through chapter 12. Actually, it's going to be everything in module number, no, it's everything from chapter 1 to chapter 12. So keep that in mind. However, most all of the questions come from the quizzes, so the best way to prepare for the exam is to review all of the quizzes that you've already taken. So here we are on week number 8. So again, you have the case study that you're working on. You have one more week to complete that. You have a check-in assignment on annuities where you're helping Sienna solve some annuity problems. You have a quiz on chapter 12 as well, so I would encourage you to do the quiz first because you can take it 3 times. And then there is a formula sheet right here, chapters 12 and 14. You're going to be using this again when we get back from spring break. But the chapter 12 formulas are all there. It gives you the formula as well as the table factors for uh, however you want to solve those annuities, as well as annuity dues, how to do an annuity due versus an ordinary annuity. So it explains all of that in the formula sheet. You do have a study page on this, and again, in the study page is a video of me going over some of these. It's right down here. Video of me working out an ordinary annuity and annuity due, video of me working out an ordinary annuity and annuity due present value, and then also a sinking fund. So all 3 videos you can watch to figure out how to work those problems. And then, of course, you again have a read me first and a help Sienna that you need to clear as mark as done in order to move on into the coursework. So that's pretty much it. And then you have your midterm exam. So your midterm exam it says chapters 8 to 12. So that's correct. This is the 16-week class. So I break it up. You have more exams in this class, but it is your midterm. It's chapters 8 through 12. And so make sure you complete that by Sunday night. And then we enter into spring break next week. I don't have that on here, but I will post that and it's going to be right here. So when you finish this week, enjoy your spring break and we'll come back with week number 10, getting into mortgages and really starting all brand new content at that time. So, all right, well, that's it for week number 8. Have a great week. If you have any issues or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and have a wonderful and fabulous and safe spring break. You will not have a video from me again until we come back from spring break that Monday morning. Expect a video from me getting us started into that week's coursework. All right, right. Until then, have a great one.